How you doing? Let's have a conversation. I want to talk about how the flow of information impacts an organization's operation. Please join me on this journey of knowledge dissemination. Enjoy the video. I've worked in IT for 10 years, and during that time, in my experiences, I've learned the importance of solving the right problems. It sounds obvious. Who would deliberately allocate resources ineffectively? But it is very common across many areas, not just IT. In this video, I'm going to talk about JCPenney and how a strategic decision made in 2012 still affects the company today. JCPenney, like its retail peers, has struggled for years to adapt in an environment that has gone through significant changes. Players such as Amazon have disrupted decades-old business models. Mall owners who once viewed big box retailers as anchor tenants responsible for bringing in a lot of foot traffic. But now, mall owners are increasingly viewing the traditional big box retailers as an albatross. Mall owners would prefer to rent the large space typically occupied by large department chains to more profitable companies, such as Apple. Their profits per square feet are the envy of retailers. That is a bit ironic, and you'll see why in a few moments. The willingness to pivot and try new things is a good thing, but how a company changes depends upon a wide array of variables. One of the most important variables is the reason customers purchase your products or services. Those reasons exist in many places, such as customer profiles from a rewards program database or conversations between sales associates and customers. Having the knowledge is one thing, but putting it to use is another. JCPenney hired Ron Johnson as CEO in November 2011 and fired him April 2013. Johnson previously worked for Apple as Senior Vice President of Retail Operations. Although Apple and JCPenney are vastly different companies, he was viewed as a change agent who would implement a much-needed turnaround. Johnson decided that increasing profits meant eliminating discounts. Well, how did that turn out? It was a disaster. Just look at the stock performance during Johnson's tenure. Johnson was on the job for only 17 months. While he was in charge, JCPenney's annual sales fell from $17 billion to as low as $11 billion. If that was not bad enough, 43,000 JCPenney employees lost their job in 2012, according to filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission. That drop represented 27% of JCPenney's workforce at the time. How did this happen? It appeared that Johnson did not fully understand and or care what JCPenney's core shoppers wanted. Those who are familiar with the Pareto principle know what I'm talking about. The Pareto principle is also known as the 80-20 rule. It suggests that 80% of a company's sales is derived from 20% of its customers. Why did Johnson risk the solid revenue stream generated from the core base of customers who viewed discounts as one, maybe the reason to shop at JCPenney's? I am most certainly not an expert in running a retailer. However, I do know that understanding your value proposition is critical for success in any industry. If customers buy your products or services because of X, do not eliminate X unless you have a better Y that has been thoroughly market tested. This is simple logic, no need to solve any differential equations. To be sure, I'm not saying that JCPenney should never change, but if it's going to do so, it needs to make certain that it is solving the right problems. This involves taking a deep dive into your customer base. Perhaps data analytics could have a role here. Also, the flow of knowledge should not be one way, from executive suite down to retail associate. I recommend allowing experiences, especially tacit knowledge, from the front lines make its way to the boardroom. Think of it this way. If your customers place a heavy value on discounts, and they are likely to relate on a financial basis with retail associates, could those associates potentially offer unique insights on the impact discounts could have on a person in similar socioeconomic circumstances? If so, why not listen to those associates and incorporate their feedback on how certain pricing actions could impact customer buying behavior? Hard metrics matter, but they do not tell the whole story. There is a lot of context that a spreadsheet ignores. Yes, an organization must be responsive to market dynamics, but that doesn't mean you throw out the baby with the bathwater. The bottom line is that the actions of Ron Johnson suggested that he did not fully appreciate the big picture of JCPenney's customer base. And as a result, he solved the wrong problem. Thank you for watching. I encourage you to provide feedback and participate in this conversation. Comment, like, subscribe, visit my website. I love to hear other perspectives because knowledge is for everyone.